Hello. Today is Wednesday, January 25th, 2017. And I read that in the Washington Examiner that President Trump is expected to sign multiple executive actions on Wednesday. That means today. That would tighten US immigration policies with certain Muslim countries. The countries that are likely to be included here are Iraq, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. I think this is a very good thing. And this is exactly what he promised, so I hope these reports are true. Because he promised to put America first. And President Trump is right now the West's or the world's greatest hope against globalism. Globalism is the ideology of one world government. It's the ideology of a global super elite. And the globalist agenda is pushed by organizations like the UN, the EU, and a lot of others, the World Bank, you name it. And the idea of completely open borders might sound well if you are a young and naive liberal, or if you are an old liberal who just never got a reality check because you're stuck in your old ideas. I had these ideas once. I left them when I learned a little more about reality. And the alternative to globalism is not that everyone closes their borders to everything. The alternative is institutional competition. And what does that mean? Institutional competition means that countries are allowed to compete with being better than each other. With global institutions like the European Union, where rules are to be harmonized, an EU country like Sweden, or Germany, or France, they are all supposed to have the same set of rules. There is one border to the rest of the world. If you are allowed into the EU, you are supposedly allowed access to the entire union. Okay, it's said that you should apply for asylum where you enter the border of the European Union. And there have been talks about having distribution of migrants within the union. But in practice, that's what it is. The problem is, with harmonization in the European Union, in NAFTA, in whatever, all these agreements, you won't get the best results. You will get the worst results. Because then there is no competition. If you could take an analogy. If you live in a city where there is only one store, or only one chain of stores, all stores have the same goods, the same prices, the same quality or lack of quality, the same opening hours. How good do you think your cheese would be? Or whatever you want. It is likely it wouldn't be very good. It wouldn't taste very much. But when you have competition, they will compete with better goods, better quality, better service, longer opening hours. And this is not only with businesses and companies. They will also try to attract the best personnel. This is also with countries. As you know, I am against free migration. But I am not against migration as such. I am in favor of the right kind of migration. Because I do not believe in the multicultural utopian idea that everyone will live side by side, keep their own cultures, and there will be no problems. I do not believe in that utopian idea because I consider it truly utopian. I am, in most cases, in favor of assimilation. I make exceptions for minority groups that has been for a long time in the same area or in the same country. Even if there has been some minor conflicts, we can live with that. We can live with having Sami in the north of Norway, the north of Sweden, the north of Finland and parts of Russia. We can live with Finnish-speaking minorities in Sweden and Norway and Swedish-speaking minorities in Finland. And these people, the conflict level that we have right now, isn't very high. They are still compatible with each other. And if we should take the American example, the United States is sometimes thought of as an example of successful multiculturalism. But what the United States really is an example of is a successful melting pot, until recently. It didn't matter if you came from Italy, if you came from Sweden, if you came from Germany, if you came from China, wherever you came from, you were expected to assimilate to the Anglo-Saxon lead culture. And mostly you did. And it was wonderful. The people in America today, defining themselves as Swedish Americans or Norwegian Americans, have a higher standard of living than the Swedes in Sweden. And the Norwegian Americans live on about the same standard of living as the Norwegians in Norway, and the only explanation to this is the Norwegian oil wealth. But I digress. My point is that with institutional competition, which is something that both you and I should explore more, we get a race to the top. Countries can compete with the best migration policies, which is something else than open borders. It's about attracting the right kind of migration, people that are both culturally and socially compatible with the main population, people that can be assimilated, people that will be able to take up good jobs in the country, people that will benefit the countries they come to, and not the other way around. We can try to attract businesses with having good policies for businesses establishing themselves within the country. In that way, Norway, Sweden, Germany, United States, Canada, Japan, whoever, can compete with these policies. And this will make the world a better place. Instead of with globalism, where you get harmonization all over the world. It may not turn into the Soviet Union, or maybe it does, but at least it won't be very good. You won't get very much tasty cheese in that society. But with institutional competition, you will get your favorite tasty cheese. And that's what I am in favor of. This is Swede Speaks. Have a nice day.